welcome to my website, the website of the Universal Micro-Organized Stealth Realm Arc Systems. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what sort of things to expect in this website, and not to take them too seriously. It's a lot of imaginative work has gone into it from my part, and creative work too. But I don't expect everyone to believe these things are going to happen. Um, However, I'd like you to share with me my vision, and if you feel like coming to visit Gloucestershire on the strength of what I've put here, or for another reason, please feel free. I put my number, my telephone number, and my email address on this website, and you can contact me on either of those if you'd like to meet up and talk about it. So the website is it consists of several factors. It deals with cyber-dimensional escalated creation. That's the crux of the whole thing, which would be the reality of a universal reality um, coming to Earth and forming a creation made around us that could actually make itself the physical manifestation of a city of creation with a realm and mountains and think tanks and so many other different things. It's some people it's fancied, but to me it's been my life's work for the last 20 years. And a lot of other people in the community, people who don't come from here, don't realize that it's a very integral thing in the community in a sort of subliminal way, that people don't really talk about it out loud, but everyone hopes for the best outcome. So, it's one of those things that, even if it doesn't happen, it's a very innovative, creative area around here. The Stroud Valleys are creative. There's a lot of artisan work going on, and artists in the valleys. There's a Stroud Art Trail. There's communities around Gloucester, around Bristol. It's definitely at the hub of the countryside reality in the whole area of uh, this of England certainly, and the whole area of Great Britain, I suppose. So, also, what I'd like to add is that the people who come and see Gloucestershire often just see what a wonderful, fantastic countryside it is, and how terrible it'd be if this all became a city and became a completely different reality, and it changed people's perception of what was actually going on when things like this started to change. They'd be absolutely shocked. However, the whole ethos, and you'll see this in the section I talk about in Gardens of Paradise, the whole ethos of the creative reality, although there's very good technologies and a space program and all that sort of thing designed to fit into the whole uh, vision of what I'm trying to set up here. The whole ethos and the whole reality of what's going on is that it's a city for the countryside as much as it is for its inhabitants. So it's all about the creation of the flora and the fauna and the different universal species that come from these, and the existing plants and universal species that come from the cyber dimensional augmentation or escalation of the universal vision to become a city and a realm, and all the things that that will bestow. You can imagine how that may change the pharmaceutical business for good, with plants that heal all manner of human ills and all that. You can imagine it'll change vastly the way people do business on Earth as well. And that's the other thing. It's also set up as a sort of business program, because the mountains, in the style of Davos and cloisters that go all around the realm, they will have practices within them that manifest themselves on Earth as a network to change the existing businesses into something with an ethereal property, from the pioneers who go out, who farm their idea out from the practice, which they becomes their own when they develop into the senior on the program that surrounds their knowledge acquiescence database formation, I call it. So as they develop into the senior, they then farm out the ethereal quality, which is the real pioneerial spirit of the creative technology or whatever it is that the people are doing. And this goes through the roof. This becomes a huge thing all over the world, and business and pharmaceutical industries and existing medicine practices and anything you can think of, law, you name it. It's going to change when the future reality, I call it the legal organizational direction, and I'll touch on this in Elilord, but it's the best explanation of how the whole thing transfers from one law, the existing law, to a legal organizational direction. So anyway, without further ado, I'll do my best to read through this website. I'm going to start with the homepage, and you'll see the title is Universal Micro-Organized Stealth Realm Arc Systems. So I'm literally just going to read it to you for ease, for facilitation, so you can sit in your cars, or you can sit at home, or cook your evening meal, and listen to it on YouTube on this website. And feel free to download it and share it with as many people as you can. If it floats your boat, if it doesn't, thanks for coming anyway. And it's been a pleasure having you visiting this site. So let's get started. Universal Microorganized Stealth Realm Arc Systems. Everything created by UMOSRAS is matched to a vision of cyber-dimensional creation, created in liquid property through our ArcWeb facility, SAFCOMS. Once the template form has been created and designed, the next stage is to draw all liquid property spent on the project, the location specified in the planning phase. We will then endeavour to generate this project through an escalation of cyber generation, so that the outcome becomes a fully equipped, planned and trialled practice that comes from the pioneer project of ENA. ENA itself, like all other practices we intend to create with this facility, can best be described as a reverse matrix, like the film style project. This is so because firstly the project is created virtually in essence, but also because the project manifests itself as a physical reality, and as a result, it is not virtual reality at all when completed. Not only this, but also because the reality of the project is liquid reality. This means that the system created can have unreal qualities. Not only can creation become such that things become interchangeable or living, but it is possible to write anything from your imagination into the template, and we will endeavour to make this a reality. This includes options such as real living walls, both with plants and with responsive elemental materials that the walls themselves are created from, so that they may breathe, ripple, or even move to the specifications of a program. The same can be said for the furnishings or fittings and interiors, but furthermore physical landscapes and breathtaking scenery, or overall effects like a permeable dome and a revolving platform. All this whilst ensuring everything is functional through in-depth programming and planning at the template phase for use by the project's users or systems. Further reading of this website will provide other ways in which projects such as this one can be developed. And we move on to the cyber-dimensional escalated creation, or CDEC-TM, is the processing of grassroots through cyber-generated microcosm through to the regenerative macrocosm, the pleromatic module, resulting in healing, pain relief, and symptoms exposure of the regenerative module to replicate, fault find, and heal within a cyber-generated fourth and fifth dimensional body. The process is transferable from living matter to be used in the engineering of metals and plastics, and in the construction of machines, buildings, and urban landscapes. Right, let's just quickly pause the video. Okay, I'm skipping the location map and the contact us page because that's self-explanatory. Then we come on to GRAZE. GRAZE is the area traffic system to, from, within, and over the landscape of ENA, level 1 platform of grassroots connectivity. Student cherubim should be equipped with 4-winged craft and senior seraphim 6-winged craft. These and various other forms of universal craft go to make up the assortment of GRAZE we here at ENA propose to offer. Is grassroots. The basis of all cyber-generated creation at level 1 are the grassroots and vines that entwine the level 1 platform and through GR connection link all cyber-generated species from UMOSRAS. They are encoded with fourth dimensional plasmatic tissue, which is the physicality of universal creation through the UMOSRAS network. There is one generation of agent who adhere to ENA, the level 1 platform of the grassroots community, and a second generation of agent who adhere to plate 1, which I'll come on to in a minute. Out of the 4 groups connected to ENA's grassroots come the subject matter of support international and global business, help those who have been marginalised and dwell on the fringes of society, receive little acknowledgement for their contribution, which is often overlooked for no reward, no matter how much success it brings others. Those who campaign and fight for those dear to them to achieve the recognition they deserve and whose requirement put help to work. And finally, life, the charity that nourishes and nurtures us, giving total self-sacrifice in their daily living, but on a larger scale, becoming the lifeblood of the entire platform and beyond, in fact, love. The first and second generation of the SAF agent can be found on the level 1 platform. Their contribution is through help connections and are integral in strategizing and liaising with the other 3 groups. Their works are involved with enabling wealth creation, security and armed forces, finally bringing life to the success of the platform by providing creative infrastructure that enables the Commonwealth to be channeled through the grassroots charitable system to ensure the safety and secure living of people who live within ENA's borders, at the same time providing the purpose for creating a platform in the first place to look after and ensure global security and structure through connections from our citizens all over the world. Because this one's about my demise. Even if it's not really going to happen, I estimated that it might happen, and I was able to put provision in for being, in my eyes, perceived to be innocent and not guilty of what was put to me to make happen, to make this happen in the first place. So I believe I was justified to see this through. But make your own mind up, see what you think. Plate 1 or Platform 2, a collaborative student senior project to be unveiled in stages at the Academy of Creation. When the designs are complete, work will then continue at the UMOSRAS practice, located secretly in Walls 2, to build scale models and to design synchronization with Day X. Interwoven in the arts, the entirety of Platform 1 are the blueprints of Plate 1. It is the next stage up, which is why it will carry the city of Platform 2 in order to be installed in pastures new. The project's launch is set to coincide with the end of a tumultuous battle somewhere on Earth. During the celebrations of victory, I shall be killed and travel to a specific area of the underworld where death has his final dominion over the good souls. I intend to destroy death, and in order to regain life within the limited time available to me, I shall release the good souls from their prisons and put them to hard labour in order for them to regain life themselves. Plate 1 will then be built. Its capabilities are to be a ship of creation, not destruction. It is a mothership. It contains many vessels and can construct the most intricate or gargantuan projects, such as the construction of the spaceport eye above the Earth, and through its keel, the practice cities that the students from ENA's various institutions shall create in prototype form. The ship will consist of a giant plate, the keel, and 3 console cockpits that stick up from its body to control the flight of the ship from the stern. The starboard console will control the flight plan for the subsidiary vessels, and the port side console will control the creative substance mixtures fed through the keel and the earth plan for where and when to lay them. The plate is the main housing for all the workers on the ship's build. Platform 2 shall sit on top of that with a retractable, invisible dome to protect it during flight. After several days of death, I shall regain life, having already visited and connected the previous galaxies in space to ours. The ship will lift out of the Earth and will set about its task to firstly create Porta da Gama for ENA, then embellish ENA itself to its full capacity. Then it will come to our new home to lay down platform 2 and create Porta de Nueva. We come on to the main part of the project. Platform 1 is a template through which the physical realization of the first realm creation of Galaxy Ramsby shall become accomplished. Its mass consists in template form of arc-enabled fourth dimensional creation, within which there is a city, an outer realm, and mountains which encompass the entire domain and create areas within them for Largo initiatives to be set up. Largo I'll come on to in a minute. The creation within the arc structured system is harvested through fifth dimensional grassroots and vines that not only supply and energize the creation of the city, but also maintain and supply the CADSA, or Knowledge Acquiescence Database Senior, of each subscribing citizen, student, or senior within the realm. The city juxtaposes both contemporary, supermodern, and ancient creativity through the fifth, sixth, and seventh dimensions, by the fact that it has been created through arcs and pillars that transcend time and space. Its virtues are peace and love, and therefore is absolutely brilliant in hue, with a warm glow that is predominantly white in colour because it is perfect. Protected from the earthly atmosphere, it has a tropical feel, and a climate that is not usual for this part of the world. It is designed for the protection of the earth as a whole through its protectorate system, and the city has developed through much time by influencing the world's great religions. Through its many palaces, villas, and places of rest or discussion, it is organized as a paradise for enlightened aspiration and decent behavior, all undertaken with an openness of mind, and includes many who aspire to be like this but haven't yet reached their peak. For the initiates, there is a think tank, city within the city, and forums to discuss the motives and drives of those with individual thought to harness each idea to fruition as a Largo fruit to develop within the mountains that surround the realm. The academy that is the driver of each aspiration and the educator of each student who graduates from think tank and forum politics is the way in which each one of us may become a senior and ultimately graduate to our own law ambition. If the mountains are the private sector, then the inner walls are the public sector. These run around the city tending to all needs of a civil nature, while at the same time providing creative structure for the city within their boundaries. Logo is a term I use for a network which compiles unobtainable goals belonging to people who can't realize them. Often a venture is too ambitious for the original visualizer of it to see it to fruition. In many cases, this idea is taken out of their hands and dealt with by individuals who offer no reward to the origins from where the idea comes from. These ideas are often intangible and may be too abstract to actually patent for yourself or to even start out on a venture. That is the point of our Largo database, to enable such concepts to gain fruition without being tampered with. LAW stands for LAWeb and is an ArcWeb facility provided by UMOSRAS. What we intend to create with it is an open matrix of opportunity that nourishes and nurtures all ideas from their incubation point. The individuality of each idea will remain sacrosanct, and the compartmentalization of each idea will be secured and protected by SAFCOMs. The difference between choosing law and any of the other facilities is that the clients will be provided with a much broader range of support. Law enables each individual to not only think of an idea at concept, but then work alongside experts in the craft their project should align, and ultimately head up the management team running their own company, charity, organization, practice. Once this has been achieved, the project belongs to the individual, and they will oversee the running of the universal form of the practice within Walls 1 or any other such internal setup within ENA. The universal form of the practice is then exported by the ambassadorial team to ultimately mesh with and enhance to unforeseen levels of global origins of practice. In ENA, law will run through all Walls 1 practice, and Walls 1 here I mean Walls 2, which are the mountains. Initiating at think tank level 2 in the data pipes, where alongside the initiates and student CASs, all law concepts shall be stored. This will also connect the think tank to the academy and then combine information from all parties to generate concepts to give Walls 2 practices their purpose. When these have been completed and seniors appointed to their roles outside the academy, areas outside ENA will be set up. This will be on the basis of the pioneers, the larger concepts around which these areas will have been generated, will have links to or origins from them. The whole process will map out the protector of ENA and the linking factor based on a reciprocal returns system, which will be known as the Charity Life arcweb. UMOSRAS functionality. UMOSRAS can be provided as a private and public sector enterprise that generates wealth both within each platform and ultimately on the outside. Within each platform, depending on the situation, universal credits can be managed in a means-tested tax haven containing areas that are still required to pay tax due to their dealings with the outside world and everyday financial institutions. Some platforms may become tax havens in their entirety, and others may run on tax-related systems entirely. UMOSRAS sets itself up as a driver for the far-reaching CADSA initiative program through the law facility, where ideas and opportunities are not only obtained but put into fruition through the practice of engendering full universal support and stimulating growth for the realm as a whole, both as a supplier of interior and exterior benevolence and economy boosting far and wide. In the Plate 1 supported creation, the vision is to set up multiple platforms across the Earth as a whole through 4th to 7th mindful creation. This involves the requirement for the input of the multiple task, ideas, think tank phenomena in order to provide enough cause for the bringing about of full universal infrastructure in order to set up, collaborate with the pioneers of each individual thought or idea. The requirement is therefore to create Platform 1 first in order to bring about enough ideas to generate ENA's practices within the platform, each one connecting to the location of new platforms and bringing about their creation, turning global initiatives into universal ones, and protecting those involved with new UMOSRAS infrastructure. Now, Walls 1 are the inner walls which go around the city and comprise the entire public service infrastructure of the realm. They are dual-sided in reverse pyramidal form, but stylishly created with many undulations in a contemporary design. Between both sides there will be a dual-track multi-stop tramway called the Interpress, which will enable employees and service users to travel between practices. The practices will entail every type of public service relevant to ENA, including services provided by SAFCOMs, which will provide, alongside the usual security, the infrastructure for all communications, local electricity matrices, LEMs, universal credits, and interior arcweb, enhanced to specific domestic requirements to ensure every home and place of business has everything it needs for comfort. SAFCOM services will be channeling through a series of brackets within both the inside and outside of Walls 1, and will contribute to a system called Cumulonimbus 9 or Cloud 9 that shall act as a system to weatherproof the realm and provide all SAFCOM's infrastructure to all within and ultimately temporary connections which may become permanent to our associates outside. The city within Walls 1 will receive free infrastructure but will pay on a means-tested system for the services provided. Those living without will pay a percentage to their earnings as a tax, which is sold to them by SAFCOMs to receive all the benefits we provide in turn. They shall receive all services in Walls 1 for no charge. All profit received by SAFCOMs will go into developing technology to further the cause of ENA and reduce costs for public services provided to the dwellers within Walls 1. Public sector workers for the inner part of Walls 1 will come from outside the walls. The workers for the outer section will live inside. Profit for the payment received by Walls 1 will go towards enhancing our systems and investing in new projects both within and beyond the realm. Walls 2 are the outer walls of the realm and are in fact the mountains that will run around the entire structure within. They're the private sector walls and comprise clusters of UMOSRAS creative practices and villages that are set up for the workforce and associates of each of the private sector practices that operate within and around the mountains. Within the mountains, there'll be a network of tunnels and a multi-stop, multi-track monorail system, the Interpress, which will be used as a means to do business connect with other practices will be used for workers to commute within the WARS 2 system. The nature of WARS 2 will be as such. Firstly, the practices will appear from already existing global businesses that have already been set up on the basis of a larger initiative gathered outside the realm, and the pioneers of WARS 2 shall therefore be the interim project managers. As a think tank, forums and sorry, have I stopped the video? No. As the think tank forums and RGLJM Academy starts to create seniors as graduates from the academy. They shall start to be trained up at the practices around WARS 2 when the entire new team has entered their proposed practice. The existing members will begin to filter out to the wider world as the ambassadors for the realm to generate security across the globe and to recruit and train new members for INA, whilst creating more profit to be used in the charity life arc web, which will provide a basis of investment in pockets around the world. This process may be repeated again and again as new infrastructure from INA is created elsewhere.